Hello guys, Jack here, hope you're all doing well. Today we've got some bits and bobs. In the background here is gameplay from the new BF1 custom game mode called Line of Sight, recently added to the custom games tab, and as far as I can tell it's Rush on Suez with medic and scout class only with like 200% damage and an obscenely long respawn time. Not quite sure what to make of it, to be honest. If you're playing as a scout, it's pretty much INSTAGIBBED mode. You hit someone once with a bolt action and they will go down. And as a medic, of course, you can pick any of these semi-auto rifles and absolutely go to town with them if you pull off a nice flank. I've had some fun with it for sure, but I don't think I'll be playing it much more. The respawn timer alone is just ridiculous and frustrating. And most people play scout, and as such, there's very rarely a medic nearby that's going to revive you. But saying that, if you're good with the bolt action rifle and better than the other team, then you can go on some very satisfying flanks and kill streaks where you're just nailing shot after shot. Especially as a defender, what I like doing is pushing up to the edge of the map, like the out of bounds zone, as close to the attackers as possible and hide in places that they don't expect, and then they go past you without checking because they don't think anyone's going to be there, and then of course you toast them. That can be fun. Makes me think though that much more could be done with the implementation of these official custom game modes though. It seems like we'll only be getting them on one map at the moment. Fog of War was only on Argonne, Line of Sight on Suez. I'd personally love to play these game modes on more maps, and also since Line of Sight was introduced, it looks like you can't play Fog of War anymore. So I guess what DICE are going for is like a rotation thing, kind of like Overwatch do with the Brawl game mode. Perhaps in the future they could bring back the most popular ones and let you choose from a few at a time. Also, not much in terms of news for Battlefield going on at the moment. Obviously, we've got the free DLC map and patch coming up sometime in December, so I am looking forward to those. The Battlefield 1 tournament at I-59, which I talked about previously in that competitive video I did, has now been cancelled, which everyone kind of expected anyways, so that probably means that the patch won't be deployed this week, as the event starts on Thursday and ends on Sunday. And I'm really hoping that the new patch adds more custom server options like password, kick, etc. As I've said in previous videos, all of that stuff really should have been in at launch, but I guess DICE just needed more time to implement it. I wanted to say a big thank you to you guys as well again. The last few Battlefield videos have done very well for views, thumbs up, comments, etc. And I've been doing a crap load of giveaways too. Publishers are very good at giving me codes to give away. Sometimes I don't even need to ask. And as such, I've actually got some more stuff to give away today. The first lot is a bunch of Battlefield 1 keys courtesy of Dan Mitre, who's the global lead community manager on BF. And he's given me 2 PC codes for BF1 worldwide, 2 PS4 Ultimate Edition codes for North America, 2 PS4 standard codes for Europe, 2 Xbox One standard codes which are worldwide, and 2 deluxe upgrade codes for Xbox One which are also worldwide. If you want a chance of winning one of these codes, then leave a comment down below and let me know which version you want, and I'll pick people at random to win those and DM them the codes. Also, if you're feeling nice, hit that thumbs up button as well. That would be much appreciated. There will be something else later on in the video too, but we'll get onto that when I switch to real life mode. So moving on, something that's a bit left field, but just go with me. You may not have heard of a man called Roland Smedberg, otherwise known as Roly the Poly, but I bet you've seen some of his video game trailers. Roland is a man that's worked at DICE in Stockholm for over 14 years, and he announced on Twitter that he's moving on and leaving the studio. And Roland is responsible for loads of the epic trailers that we've seen over the years, starting way back in Battlefield 1942, the original gangster. And he's worked on pretty much all of the games that DICE have made since then, as far as I know. So Bad Company 2, BF3, BF4, Mirror's Edge, Battlefront, etc. Pretty much all of them. And let's be honest, DICE makes some of, if not the best, video game trailers, which really just showcase how the games feel when you're playing them. One of his best works, I think, was the Battlefield 3 Caspian Border multiplayer reveal trailer back in August of 2011. I only ever met him once, very briefly, but Roland's trailers were a massive inspiration to me and many others, fans of the Battlefield series or not, and I think his style has been mimicked frequently since the DICE trailers started gaining popularity. But what was so inspirational about these trailers for me though was that mostly they're all filmed in-game. Yeah, there's a few scripted in-engine cinematics from time to time that community members don't really have access to, but for the most part, it's all in-game. And that gave me the inspiration when I started out on YouTube in October of 2011 to try and make my own in-game videos, montages, fake trailers, etc. in Battlefield 3. So really, I owe a lot to this guy for inspiring me in the first place. I just thought that we should give him a proper send-off from the Battlefield community and say, hey, you know what, thanks for all your hard work and for creating some of the coolest shit in video game trailers, and we wish you luck on whatever comes next. Moving on now, something a little bit different. I had a tweet recently from a viewer saying, hey, can you show us some of the cool stuff that you've been sent or you've acquired from games companies because of your YouTube channel? I'd mentioned it previously in a video, I think, so I thought, well, I've not really done something like that before, like the stuff that I've accrued over the years, so to speak, because I am quite a private person generally. But as they asked so nicely, I thought, well, why not? So I've picked out some of the most interesting things, I suppose, from YouTube and games companies to share with you guys. I thought you might find this stuff kind of interesting, as you don't usually get to see it on my channel here. It's kind of all behind the scenes. So first up, these are my 100,000 and 1 million subscriber plaques from YouTube. When you hit 100,000, YouTube sends you a silver play button as a nice gesture and a voucher for a photography website. And then at 1 million subscribers, they send you this huge gold 1 million subscribers plaque, which is massive and very heavy. It's usually mounted on the wall, but I took it down just for this. And you can choose to have your channel name or logo on there, but I went with the logo because I think it just looks a bit more stand out that way. And YouTube also sent me this in January at the start of this year. It's a 2015 yearbook kind of thing. It's a bit weird. So it says that I started my adventure in 2011, which is correct, and my first ever video was Battlefield 3 multiplayer quality test. What an absolute stunner that was, and it was just like 1 minute 40 seconds of me and my mates just playing BF3 on the day it was launched. And then some other stats in the book as well, like how many views in total at the point that the book was printed, what the most popular videos are, how many subscribers. It's pretty neat. And then it shows you like all of the other channels in each category who have over 1 million subscribers. It was a nice surprise to receive that. This book as well, the Marconi Code. It's a bit more recent, but there's an interesting story to it. So remember the BF1 Morse code Easter egg? Get the headphones, take them to the station, and it plays Morse code. But the Morse code was completely garbled originally, and it didn't make much sense. So in the Easter egg Discord community, a guy called Raxel came up with this theory that maybe you needed Marconi code instead of just normal Morse code to decipher it. And it was a good theory because of how the Morse looked, and also the fact that the in-game telegraph machines look like the wireless Marconi code machines that were used in World War I. Now, unfortunately, you can't get hold of scans of this book online, and it's only in a few libraries around the world, so we had no way of really checking it out. And me jumping the gun a bit, I actually found somewhere online that sold it, and this was a German book reseller who collects like antique books. But because the book is from 1919 and it's hard to get hold of, it's actually quite expensive, and it costs around £100. But because I thought, hey, DICE have gone to the next level here with these Easter eggs maybe. If the theory is correct, then I might actually be able to use this book to decipher the code and continue the Easter egg. So the book arrived, but of course, a few days later, the patch came out and DICE changed the Morse code to say that the previous message was corrupted. Wait for new instructions. DICE, please. So it wasn't Marconi code at all. But that's a funny story to tell you guys and also my grandkids when I inevitably don't have any. Moving on, just a couple of cool collector's editions that I've been sent. The Corvo mask from Dishonored 2, definitely one of my favourites. The amount of detail in it is nuts. Doom, of course, as well. The base there lighting up the Revenant to make him even more hellish. A custom Xbox 360 controller that Xbox sent me with Jack Frags engraved on it. I like that one a lot. And then there's these two Titanfall Xbox One controllers. And I picked these up at a Titanfall event. The reason I kept them in their boxes is because it's actually got the incorrect age rating printed on it. And they eventually changed the packaging before it went to retail, so they had the correct one on. But because of that detail, it could be quite an interesting collector's piece to have, so I did hold on to them and keep them in the box. And then the Titanfall Collector's Edition statue, absolutely love that thing. Now this here then, as you can see, is a copy of Star Wars Battlefront on the PlayStation 4, and it's covered in signatures, and these are the signatures of most of the team at DICE that actually made Star Wars Battlefront. How did I get this? Well, I was part of the Game Changers program for Battlefront, where a group of us got to play the game early and give feedback on it, and one of the times that I went over to DICE Stockholm to play, they actually did this for me and signed the game, which was super nice, and I'm very grateful for it. Unfortunately, signatures are notoriously hard to read, so if you guys know or you can tell who they belong to, then I'd love to know so I can keep a record of them. This is pretty cool as well, this dubstep gun from Saints Row. You pull the trigger and, well, you get dubstep. And finally this is a signed poster of concept art from BF3 Close Quarters. If you remember that DLC, it was all a bit mad, wasn't it? And this is signed by Eric Persson, who is a senior concept artist at DICE. Now, before we go back to video game world, I've been looking at ways of capturing 4K content from PS4 Pro and in the future the Xbox One Scorpio, and it's surprisingly hard to do this at the moment. Most capture cards or devices out there right now only do 1080p at 60 FPS. On PC, I can record 4K very easily with shadow play and get good quality results with very little performance loss, but on console, the options are kind of limited. So I want to have a setup in place where I can record at 4K 60 FPS from console. And I did a little Google search and found a guy on YouTube called Trike TV who had unboxed an AVerMedia 4K capture card that you can't normally buy as a consumer. So I contacted him, he passed me on their details and gave me some ideas on the setup. I got in touch with AVerMedia and it actually accumulated in them sending me one of these, and this is an AVerMedia 4K 60 FPS capture card. And I'm going to plug this into my PC and mess around with it soon to see if I can get some solid 4K captures from it. Most of the PS4 Pro games at the moment are actually upscaled from 1440p to 4K, but they do output at 4K, and there are some actual true native titles on the PS4 Pro like The Last of Us Remastered that I want to record and compare. I think we're going to have to wait for the Xbox Scorpio though to get some truly new native 4K content. On top of this, AVerMedia also sent me their latest external capture card device, the LGP2, and I'm going to be giving this away as I've got no need for it really. This will record or stream Xbox, PS4 and PC at 1080p 60 FPS with zero lag. It's incredibly easy to set up and it even has a PC free mode if you want to record to an SD card at an event or whatever. And if you want to win it, just leave a comment down below saying so and I'll pick someone at random as the winner. Okay then, wrapping things up for today. This has probably gone on for a bit longer than I intended, but whatever. You may have seen a lot of talk on YouTube and Twitter about problems with YouTube lately, with like the trending videos being all weird, people being automatically unsubbed from their favorite channels, which is not good, not getting any video notifications, and also as a YouTuber, when you upload a video, sometimes it actually automatically unsubscribes a load of people from your channel, which of course is ridiculous. Now, I've been quite lucky in the respect that I haven't been massively affected by this at all, because my stats have been all green across the board, lots of good views, lots of new subscribers, but other channels are suffering from it, small channels and big channels alike, and hopefully it's going to all get fixed soon. But something you can do though to improve seeing a YouTuber's videos, if you're subscribed to them, is to go to the bell on their homepage and make sure that you click send me all notifications for this channel, and if you do that, then you should get a notification through every time that that person uploads a video or does something. Right then, so that's all for today folks. I know this one was a bit different than usual, but I hope you enjoyed it either way. If you did, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button and leaving a comment down below. If you didn't like it, a thumbs down. Once again, thanks ever so much for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.